Hello and welcome to North Lanarkshire Live. We're here down at Kirkshaw's Neighbourhood Community Centre and we're with Julie O'Byrne and she's going to talk to us about the Cool School Uniforms project. Hello Julie.
Hi.
Right, so what can you tell us about the project that you run?
The project is supplying disadvantaged children with school uniforms. There's so much poverty in the whole of North Lanarkshire, family poverty, that parents just cannot afford to renew school uniforms. School uniform grant, I think, is £140.
No, 104.
£104, sorry, which is fine for the August intake, but kids grow. And by the time you get to 6 weeks later and it's October break, the weather has changed, so they can no longer go to school just with a blazer on. They need a jacket. Their feet have grown. Their trousers are, the knees are out of them. They need everything renewed. And people just can't afford it. So Cool School Uniforms provide this. And it's all stuff donated by the community, for the community.
So what sort of items can you get out of the uniform bank?
We can supply blouses or shirts, kimonos, trousers. We can supply everything from the skin out. The majority of us, as I say, is all donated by the community. This is all good quality clothing that children have literally just grown out of. There's nothing wrong with it. It just needs laundered and presented to another child. So it's being recycled. But as far as the child's concerned, it's getting it. It's a brand new uniform, So we have a laundry service. We take it in, get it laundered, get it presented to the child. Obviously, whenever I say from the skin out, their underwear, the socks and all that, that's all brand new.
Right.
But everything else, if we can supply it, then the kids get it. Right down to their school bags, their pencil cases, their rubbers, their indoor shoes, their outdoor shoes, all this sort of thing. Really just what the community give us, we recycle and pass back out.
So some schools now have, some of the primary schools will have the polo shirt that's specific to their school rather than...
Well, we can't do that.
Yeah, so is that an issue?
It's more generic, the white top. Well, we do different coloured polo shirts.
Yeah.
But it's mainly the grey or the black. There's 2 schools, I think, in Coatbridge that are brown. So we can only hand out what we get in the brown uniforms. We don't have a great deal of call for that.
So I think the most important thing from when people watching this video as well as the people that need to tap into it, is if you've got a child that's leaving a primary school that has a specific polo shirt and it's still in good condition, by all means give it to you so that another child can get it in the future. Because I take it school blazers as well.
We do those as well. As long as the badge isn't actually included, because obviously you can't wear a different badge to a different school.
Yeah.
But if it's just a plain black blazer or a plain coloured blazer, then, we do keep a stock of, say for example, St Stephen's or, I don't know, Shawhead Primary. They have their own badge. If we keep maybe 2 or 3 of them, but down to stock issues. We don't have room to, carry a whole lot of stock. But if we've got one and the child from St Stephen's or Shawhead Primary needs it, then they'll get it,
So how much space do you have?
We're very fortunate. We've been donated a storage facility, which obviously the location of we like to keep private.
Well, to be fair, I don't think there's going to be a lot of robberies to steal a bunch of school uniforms.
No, it's not so much that anyone would break in. It's just where it is, and the fact that the family who have donated it, I don't want them. They have been good enough to donate it, so we have access to that. We get what we actually do. I don't know whether you've seen these. This is our leaflets.
Right.
These are distributed twice a year in every single school bag.
Right.
So whether the child needs it or not, the parents know about it. They know that the service is there. The phone number that's on it, people phone us. It's a confidential service. It's a free confidential service. Whenever they phone, if I answer the phone, for example, I'm Julie, what's your first name? I don't need to know anything else about you. What's your first name? Right, Martin, what can I do to help you? Right, this is my situation. All I need is a contact number for them.
Yeah.
And then I'll phone them and say, your order is ready, or whatever. What area do you live in? We have a distribution department in Townhead. We have one in, well, obviously one in Kirkshaw's neighbourhood centre. We actually do deliveries if it's needed. We've got volunteers that will actually go out and deliver the stuff. As for donations, if somebody phones and says, look, I've got these, there's nothing wrong with them, what do you do with them? Hand them into your local school.
All right, so they just hand them in the school,
Yes.
They don't have to get in touch?
We work with all the schools in the area. They're all very aware of what we do, and obviously they think it's a brilliant idea. So you can hand them into any school. Plus Tesco's in Coatbridge, up the town centre, they have a donation station.
Right.
So even whenever you're out doing your shopping, you can take that stuff up, just put it into that.
And how long's this been going for?
It was launched in October 2017. 17,
Right, so October 2017, it's been going 2 years, and I'd seen something updated the other day on Facebook that you might be getting another uniform bank.
We're trying to encourage other areas because we're getting people saying, oh, that's fine if you live in Coatbridge, but there's poor kids in Airdrie as well. There's poor kids in Glenboyd, you know. What about the rest of us? We won't turn any child away that needs something. That's our mantra. But at the same time, we can't give uniforms that have been donated by the community of Coatbridge to children in Airdrie whenever there's people in Airdrie willing to do the same thing for their children. All it needs is someone just to say, just really with a big mouth like me, to say, no, the kids need it. So how can we sort this out? How can we organise it? So this is what we're working on at the moment. And we're working with some of the schools in Airdrie to try and get this set up and encourage them to set it up. So,
Well, good luck with that. What we'll do is when we put the video up, we'll put a link to your Facebook page on it so people can go to it and maybe find out more about your group and maybe help. Maybe somebody from Airdrie will get in touch and say, oh yeah, I'm setting that up for you.
Well, we've actually had a few volunteers, haven't we?
Yeah.
That have came. We were at the International Women's Day a few weeks ago, and I was speaking about cool school uniforms, and there was three people came up and actually said, this is a really good idea. I live in Airdrie. I would be willing to be a volunteer. So we're trying to sort of collate this now and get something set up so that they'll have the same service in Airdrie.